My name is Umekia Taylor, and I'm with UConn Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program through the College of Agriculture, Health, and Natural Resources. And we are here today with my good friend Marissa Cardona,
Hello.
who's with the Meriden Public School System, and she is going to do a wonderful food demonstration on Hispanic heritage cultural foods. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with that, talking a little bit about her background with her culture and some of her favorite foods. Now, Marissa, we know that Hispanic Heritage Culture Month is during October, but we celebrate that all year. So, and we love to celebrate. So we're just going to go into what are some of your cultural food traditions, and what do you want to pass to your children about your Hispanic heritage and the cultural foods?
Yes, I love Hispanic Heritage Month, but I agree with you 100%. We celebrate it year-round. We celebrate it during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Acción de Gracias, and particularly during the Christmas time. One of my favorite traditions is something that has been passed on for generations from my grandparents to my in-laws to my parents, and now I'm passing it on to my kids, is making arroz y habichuela, rice and beans. And in the holidays, during the holidays, we always make our traditional meal of making pernil, which is a pork roast picnic. It's something that's very delicious. It's time consuming, but it takes about 6 hours to make. The kitchen smells delicious, and every single holiday we incorporate those traditions and instill that cultural belief with our kids. My kids now know how to cook arroz y habichuelas and pernil, and of course, as you know, the Puerto Rican tradition, the Latino culture, there's nothing like it, especially when you celebrate it with music. So that's something that we continue passing on from generation to generation.
Excellent. And so what are some of your favorite foods? I know you mentioned some of them, especially with Thanksgiving coming up.
Some of my favorite foods are pasteles and also pastelón. Pastelón is like a Puerto Rican lasagna. We put ground beef in there, we put in some sofrito, and you saute it with onions, peppers, and then you layer it with the sweet plantains and the cheese. You put it in the oven and it all melts beautifully.
Sounds delicious.
It is, very delicious.
And why do you think that this is so important to pass these traditions onto your children and our children? Why is that important?
Well, food for us is what unifies us, especially during every holiday. I always have my kids help out, my husband as well, especially during Thanksgiving. So I think that's why it's important to pass it on. It's a family affair, it unites us, and it's always a great feeling culturally to be able to bring a dish if you're visiting a family member. It just shows love, appreciation, especially when you're talking about the Puerto Rican culture.
Excellent. Well, this sounds so delicious, and it
Yes.
smells wonderful. I wish you could smell it. And so we're going to get started. And so what are we going to be preparing today?
Yeah, so today we're going to make rice and beans, arroz y habichuelas, and we're also going to make arroz blanco, white rice, with bistec encebollado, which is a steak with peppers, onions, and your amazing recipe of sofrito, which I know you're going to talk a little bit about.
Yes, and the sofrito actually is right here.
Yes.
And that is a combination of green onions, cilantro, culantro, which is a type of cilantro, onions, garlic, and it's just a flavorful base for any type of dish, especially within the Latino culture. So I love making sofrito, and it makes your house smell so wonderful. So I'm so honored that you will be using my sofrito today.
Absolutely. And the sofrito base, just like you were sharing, is something that we incorporate into a lot of our recipes. We use it when we're making our pernil, our pork roast picnic. We also add it to the bistec encebollado, which is the recipe that we'll be making today. And we also add it to our beans. You can add it to gandules, you can add it to red beans. So it definitely is one of those ingredients that is a must in just about every Latino recipe. It
Wonderful.
just adds that extra kick.
And the other thing is that we have the seasonings, the sazon, the adobos, and you can buy those commercially, but it's also very good if you can make your own, and very simple. Your ground garlic, pepper, oregano, and you take your pilon, which is like a mortar and pestle, or you can have like a coffee grinder, and basically you just grind them up. And so we have some homemade adobo here, and the sofrito is there. And so these are just some of the things you can do at home to save money and also to make it more healthy. The other thing, at the end, we will have a little mango shake.
Yes, I can't wait to try
So,
that.
and it is vegan, so I know that Marissa's daughter is practicing that now, and so it is going to be wonderful. And then we have a display of fruit here to kind of liven up our presentation.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to learning how you made that, because
Excellent.
I know my Celine will definitely love that and appreciate it.
Very good.
Yeah, so let's start. I wanted to start here just sharing a little bit of information on the arroz blanco, the white rice. What we did is we're making 3 cups of rice. We put 3 cups of rice in the caldero. This is a traditional pot that is widely used in different Latin American cultures. It's an iron pot. We added 4 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, and a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And we basically just allowed the water to boil, added the rice, and then brought it down to medium. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how many cups of arroz you're making. And then we're also going to make habichuelas rojas, red beans. In that we are going to, of course, add our favorite base, sofrito. We're also going to add sazon, and we're also going to add ham bouillon. So this adds that extra flavor, a little bit of water in there, 8 ounces of water. We let everything simmer, and then we're going to add our sausage here. So this is called in Spanish salchichon. This is a ham that is going to be delicious. You can use ham, salchichon, which has a little bit of pork in there. And then we're going to add cubed potatoes and, of course, olives. And that gives it a lot of great flavor, and just a little dash of oregano. So I'm excited to do that. And then we're going to make our bistec encebollado. You can do this ahead of time just to add a lot of extra flavors to it. I added about a tablespoon of sofrito in there. I also added, I'm looking here, a half a cup of olive oil. Minced garlic, you can use the powdered garlic, or if you want to do minced garlic from a jar, or fresh garlic, where you can use the pilon and mash everything up. And with that, you can add about 2 tablespoons, and then a dash of oregano leaves, 2 large onions, to your liking if you want to add more, diced pepper, red pepper, you can add either one. You can add green, red, multicolor, yellow. I like to use the red, it just adds that pop of color. And then 1.5 cups water and 1 teaspoon of salt. And you just allow that to simmer until your kitchen smells delicious, and it tenderizes everything. So that takes about 30 minutes or so, and it's delicious.
And what kind of beef is it?
This is a steak. It's basically a beef steak. What you can do is you can thinly cut it into slices, depending on your preference and how many guests you have.
Yeah, or like a cube steak.
Or a cube
The
steak,
cube
exactly.
Steak. Okay.
Absolutely. So let's get started, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm excited.
So now we're going to get started with making el arroz that we talked about earlier. It smells great. It's all done. You can see the smoke and the aroma filling up the room. And now we are going to get started on the habichuelas rojas, the red beans. So we're first going to start with putting in a can of tomato sauce, and we put it right into the pan. We're going to add a little bit of the sofrito. So about 2 tablespoons of sofrito. And then we're going to add a packet of ham bouillon. Any brand will do. They all taste amazing. Next, we're going to add a packet of sazon. This adds great flavor and also a beautiful color to the habichuelas. And we're going to set the burner here on high until everything is simmering. While we're getting ready for that, we're going to also add 8 ounces, a cup of water. And why not? Let's just have the papas, the potatoes. And this is about half a cup or so. You don't have to use them all. It's all dependent on your preference. And the amazing salchichon. This is the sausage. To your liking, again, whatever you prefer. The aceitunas, the olives, also to your liking. Some people like more, some less. Some even prefer to dice it up in half, whatever your preference may be. And you just let that simmer a little bit. And once it's boiling, you will add a can of habichuelas rojas. So I'm going to put that right in there and let everything boil. While this is simmering, we're going to get started with our bistec encebollado, the steak. And we mentioned earlier that we season this, and you can do this a day ahead just to add extra flavors, especially with the vinegar, the olive oil, the sofrito, the adobo. Slice everything up. I prefer to add all of these ingredients in a freezer bag, put it in the fridge, and then we can start dumping all the ingredients into the skillet. A larger skillet will do. And we put everything in here very carefully. And we can also start setting that on high until everything starts boiling, and then we bring it down to medium. Okay, so now we're going to add the adobo right into el bistec encebollado. You just add just a little bit, just enough to season the top of el bistec. And then we're going to give it a little whirl. Mix all of the ingredients together. Make sure that the bistec is spread out nicely and evenly. And always keeping an eye on the habichuelas. You don't want them to start splattering all over the place. And then we're just gonna allow this to simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the taste. The rice is already done, just waiting on the habichuelas and el bistec encebollado. So we're excited to try this. We can smell the aroma in the air. Okay, now we're going to add oregano, and oregano can be added to the habichuelas rojas, the red beans, and also to el bistec encebollado. So here just a little dash to your liking. And we're going to add it to el bistec encebollado, just a little dash right on the top. And if you have a fresh oregano plant like I do out in my windowsill, you can take a couple of leaves, cut it into small squares, dice it up, and just put it right into the habichuelas or el bistec encebollado, or both. And just to check when your beans are ready, you can basically just press upon the papas, the potatoes that we put in there, and just make sure they're tender. They're not ready yet, not quite yet, but probably another 5 or 6 minutes. So we're just gonna turn it around a couple of times, making sure that all the ingredients are evenly dispersed, and we'll check back on it in a few minutes.
And so we are now going to talk about our easy mango smoothie. And it really is very easy.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah, it's so easy. You just need a food processor or a blender. I prefer to use frozen mango because fresh mango sometimes, depending on the time of year, and also the frozen mango gives it a nice frothy taste, as well as a frozen banana. What I normally do with bananas, because we know bananas can sometimes, turn very quickly, I just take them and put them in the freezer. Oh. So that later, whenever you want a smoothie, you just take it out of the freezer and run it under a little cold water or pop it in the microwave for a few seconds, and then you have a nice addition for any of your smoothies, any time of year.
That's a great way to start your morning.
It
Nice,
is.
Smoothie.
Nice for breakfast.
Nutritional value.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about
So
it.
this is our smoothie, and again, it has frozen mango in it, a frozen banana. It has coconut yogurt or almond yogurt, so it's all vegan. And the banana and a little bit of lemon juice if you desire.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's basically it.
Oh.
And you can also, if you want a little garnish, if you have like a little fresh mint, or if you want to take a little mango, you know, make it like a cool little drink like
Oh,
that.
beautiful.
And you
That's
can
great.
add a little bit of cinnamon if you like, just to add a little bit of color.
That looks delicious.
Okay, and it's a great start to your day, or snack anytime.
Oh, great. Well, I can't wait to try it. I know that our favorite food at home is mango.
I love mango. I said it correctly.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Mango.
Mango.
Yes, I love it.
Everything smells delicious. It tastes delicious. The potatoes are tender. I think we're ready to give it a taste. But first, we have to do a little bit of salsa dancing, right?
Oh yeah,
Because usually we have
yeah,
the music playing.
for
A little bit
sure.
of salsa.
Definitely, we got to do a little dancing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's always music playing when we're making our recipes, so it is definitely part of the Latino heritage and our culture. So tell us a little bit about the next part.
Well, we actually get to taste, and this is so fun.
That's my
I'm just
favorite.
so grateful for your time and coming and sharing about your culture. And we get to taste this amazing food. It smells wonderful, and we're just elated to have you with us.
Thank you.
And
It's my pleasure.
for anyone that doesn't know, you are the distinguished wife also of U.S. Department of Education Secretary. We are so proud of Dr. Miguel Cardona.
Thank you.
And we would love to have him join us next time to do a demonstration with us.
Thank you.
It would be so wonderful. So yeah, we are ready to
Yum.
plate this food up and give it a taste. So let's just go to the stove
Okay.
and get ready to dig in. Well, thank you so much. This was a wonderful experience, so flavorful, it smells so good. And we just want to encourage people to check out our YouTube channel through UConn Extension. Just do a search there and you'll find it. You'll see the recipe also available for people where you can easily prepare these simple recipes at home with your families. And again, we just want to thank Mrs. Marissa Cardona for her time
Thank
and
you.
her willingness to share with us her traditional recipes. Thank you so
No,
much.
thank you. Que siga la tradición.